What's up, everybody? Ron Harris here, and the Flex Pro Weekend Show just wrapped up over in Italy. And Neckzilla fans, your wish is coming true. A lot of you guys have been waiting and waiting for Rubiel Mosquera from Colombia, aka Neckzilla, to get into the Mr. Olympia, to be on the Mr. Olympia stage with guys like Samson Dauda, Hadi Choopan, Derek Lunsford, Nick Walker. You're going to get your wish. It's coming true. He just got his win and ticket to the Mr. Olympia. Let's take a look at some of that. So I'm actually going to go to Nick's Strength and Power footage. I'm sure he won't mind. He's got a zillion viewers. He can share some of his footage with me. So this is the prejudging footage that he posted. And we have it up. Let's make sure it's up before I start rolling it. And yeah, here we go. Okay, so let's take a look. This was the top four. I don't know all the guys, so please apologize. I know that is Joseph Kvitin from Czech Republic in purple to the right of Rubiel. That, of course, is Andrea Presti to the left with the chest tats and the delt tat there. So let's take a look. Front double bicep. Now, Rubiel, I've gone on record. I'm not a huge fan of the physique, only because I'm a real fan of shape, structure, pretty aesthetics with plenty of mass. Rubiel doesn't have those pretty aesthetics. What he does have is loads and loads of ungodly mass. Some of the biggest legs we've ever seen in all of bodybuilding history, including guys like Tom Platz, Big Ramy, Paul Quadzilla de Mayo, the late Paul. Rubiel is up there with them. But he's been having placings haven't been quite where he wanted them. He was sixth place last weekend. What show was last weekend? Apologize, guys. I'm on some painkillers from my surgery here, so if I'm not 100% coherent, please forgive me. But you can see that Rubiel holds his own, even though Andrea does have prettier shape and structure. He is lacking quite noticeably in the lower body. You could probably fit two of Presti's thighs into one of Rubiel's thighs. It's not just because he had the big thighs that he won the show. He's a huge guy. He's got the shoulder width, the back width. I'm not in love with this pose, even though he has pretty good midsection and great quads. I always want to see more separation and so forth. But Rubiel did sharpen up considerably from last weekend in the Dubai Pro. I had to look at my calendar to remember what show was last weekend. Dubai Pro was just last weekend. So what do you guys got to say? Yeah, nice. Got a cut now. All right, see you later, Eric Von Erich. That was quick. Ruby to the Olympia, yeah. How's your shoulder? It's getting better. Thank you, Goku. So yeah, Rubiel, he was a pro in the other IFBB, the IFBB Elite. The other big champion that they had was, of course, Krizo, Michael Krizo. They were the two stars of that Elite Pro League, and they're both now top competitors in the IFBB Pro League. Krizo has been to the Olympia. Rubiel has not. This is his first chance that we're going to see there. First time we'll get to see him up against, because a lot of people think Rubiel, with all that mass, and especially if he gets it dialed into great condition, and his condition is better here than I've ever seen it. Certainly, his coach did a fantastic job tightening him up from last week in Dubai to here. That was only 1 week's time. So props to his coach for doing that. If he can continue that and continue to get into much better condition than this, I don't know about top 6 at the Olympia. That's going to be very crowded, because we actually have 4 Olympia champs going in. We have reigning champ Samson Dauda, Hadi Choopan, Derek Lunsford, and Brandon Curry, 4 Olympia champs, along with Nick Walker, Andrew Jacked, Martin Fitzwater, Tonio Burton. There's some really good guys. And remember, Tonio did beat Rubiel last weekend, so it's not crazy to say he beat him again at the Olympia. What else you guys got to say? What's up, Big Ron? Neckzilla looking solid, great conditioning. He's taking it serious. Yeah, I don't know if he wasn't taking it serious before. I don't want to assume that an athlete is lazy or is not following the coach's guidelines and doing what the coach says in terms of diet and cardio. That's what people were speculating, because whenever a guy's not in top condition, immediately you're either going to say the coach sucks or the athlete's not listening to the coach. And I don't know if either of those were the case. Maybe it was just a case of the coach, who was also the same coach of Angel Calderon Frias, learning his body and learning how it responded to different variables. And that delicate balancing act of keeping someone big and full while shredding them up and getting them lean and tight and dry. Now, Rubiel has so much sheer muscle mass that I don't think it would ever be an issue for him. Even if he flattened out a little bit, how would you even know? He's so thick and full anyway. If he was 10, 20% less full, would we even notice? I guess we might, but I think he would look so much better as he got tighter and leaner that it would make up for any difference in that fullness. He would give that illusion of looking bigger regardless. Shoulders all well, not interfering with daily activities. Well, it's going to be a bit before I'm back to normal, but I'm here for it. I'm ready for the rehab. I'm all set. Rubiel versus Paul DeMeo, the biggest leg. In terms of throwing a tape measure around it, I bet Rubiel has the bigger leg. It's hard to say. I mean, I knew Paul. You know, I knew him, not like we weren't best buds or anything, but I was, fairly friendly with him. I always talked to him at shows, and we're both Boston guys. And, I did spend a little bit of time with him driving around to different events and things like that. But I don't know. Rubiel has he's got the biggest quads, I think, right now in pro bodybuilding. If we assume that Big Rami is not currently competing, she's not. Snort those oxys, Ron. No, I'm really trying to lay off the oxys. I'm only going to use them to go to sleep because I don't like feeling stupid and tired all day. And that's what they do. They make me want to take naps, and I don't want to take naps. I mean, I don't like feeling unproductive. And if I'm taking a nap in the middle of the day, what am I doing? It's not like I'm working so hard. I need a break. Squads are huge, but they look kind of swollen in weights. It's because he doesn't really have deep separations. Your mom's flip-flop. They are big. That's the end of Nick's. Let's go to some more footage. Instagram had some good stuff on Jonathan Moreau's. Jonathan Moreau, the photographer, Mario. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Present. He has some really good footage. He shoots video and photos at the same time. He's pretty amazing. Instagram. So this is the winning shot that I used for thumbnail. You can see how much tighter Rubiel is here than he was even a week ago. I'd say I'm going to take a wild guess. I'm sure we'll find out in interviews. He'll go on Olympia TV because he's a good friend. Chris Cormier works with him, so I'm sure Chris will get him on Olympia TV. I bet he came down 10 pounds in a week. He looks 10 pounds lighter and leaner to me. But the overall impact is that he looks bigger because now the separations are a little deeper and more clear. Overall, let me see. So I think we have posing footage of Rubiel on this channel. Take a look. I need to make that smaller. Come on, Ron. You can do it. You can do it, Ron. Search Mario photo. Yeah, we're there. Okay. I did see the routine. Pretty sure I saw it. If not, I saw it on some other websites. Instagram pages, I should say. Mario photo. All right, well, here's some good video of the top two, Rubiel versus Presti. And you could hear if you put the audio up, the crowd was definitely all for Presti. It's Italy. These are his people. But look at the difference in that lower body. Presti's got a fantastic upper body, but Rubiel matches or surpasses him in upper body size and greatly overpowers him in the lower body. It's not even close. It's amazing how much bigger his lower body is. See, as surgery with speed recovery. Thank you. Appreciate that. Rubiel can make top 10. Yeah, top 10 I don't think is unrealistic. When you say top 6, that's when I was starting to worry that maybe, that's asking a little much for him at this point because, like I said, you do have 4 Mr. Olympias competing. I don't see him beating Samson, Hadi, Derek, or even Brandon Curry yet. He might beat Brandon. Brandon's starting to slide down just a bit, even though he's been staying in that top 5 ever since he lost his title years ago. Adolf looks most balanced. Yeah, we'll take a look at Adolf Berghardt, 3rd place, because he definitely deserves some credit. Adolf looked fantastic, and I never heard of the guy until this season. Nathan would have made this lineup more competitive. Yeah, I wonder, Nathan beat Rubiel last week in Dubai. He did have a little bit of midsection control problem. If he still beat him. So I'm saying if Nathan came in to this show, which he missed out on the deadline by 12 minutes, he tried to enter and it was just, he got the application in 12 minutes too late and they didn't let him in. But it's not crazy to think that Nathan would have won. Nathan would have won this. He could have. He won this last year. I sadly did not got going. It's all right. I mean, it's late over there. I understand we got a time difference. Rubiel looks oversized. I mean, he could stop training those legs for, I don't think he would ever have to train them again, honestly. If they downsized like 25%, they would still be huge and they would balance out. His physique would look more balanced, I think. Rubiel looks like Ron Love swallowing a baked potato. Good reference. Ron Love from Detroit, Michigan. Really popular star, late 80s into the early 90s. He was a police officer. Used to train with Linda Murray. I believe he was Linda's boyfriend at one time. The 8-time Ms. Olympia, Linda Murray. His side tricep is one of the best of all time. I agree. Rubiel's side chest and side triceps. Here we go with the side tri. That is just such a complete shot, and so it's just it's shock and awe. The mass and fullness of the tricep, that side leg. He's got some of the biggest calves I've ever seen, which, the stereotype is that African Americans, or I guess people of African descent, because African Americans only covers people in America. They have high calves. They can't get big calves. And we've obviously had some exceptions to that rule. Samson's got some huge calves. 1982 Mr. Olympia Chris Dickerson had some huge calves himself. And Rubiel, look at those things. Rubiel won the show 8 weeks ago. In the same condition. How did he win it 8 weeks ago, Paul? Come on now. The shoulder, it's starting to feel better already. The surgery was Wednesday afternoon. Does this mean he's now in the Olympia? Yeah, he qualified. Everybody that wins a pro show, every pro show qualifies you for the Olympia. So Rubiel has earned his place at the Mr. Olympia. I'm going to do a video at some point this week about that whole issue about Olympia being an invitation only, which that would never work. And I'll talk about it when I do the video, but it's not a practical idea. Neckzilla. Yeah. Let me move that. Maybe it's the neck of Rubiel that makes me not a fan. He's got it's a weird structure. I mean, I'm not a fan of his physique. I'll be honest with you guys. I respect and I appreciate the mass, the freak factor that this guy brings. This is a freak. This guy's got all the size in the world. He's got some insane body parts. That entire lower body is just ridiculous. His side shots are some of the freakiest I've ever seen. The side chest, side tri. But he's kind of got a wide waist. The proportions are just, the structure and proportions are just, things don't flow. It's not a pretty physique. It doesn't mean he can't go far. I mean, look, he just won a pro show. He was 6th in Dubai. I do believe he's very capable of being in the top 10 at this Olympia. Very weak lineup, Lock saying, I agree. The only other guy, aside from 3rd place Adolf Burghardt, I'd even heard of in this open lineup was Samir Trudi, and I didn't watch the show, so I don't know how Samir did. Presti will compete. Yeah, because they still have shows coming up. There's a Portugal Pro. There's more shows in Spain, and there's another Italy show. There's still a few more shows over there in Europe, which Presti likes to hit a few shows. He's not one of those guys that hits one show and disappears for a year. I've seen him do like 4, 5, 6 shows in a season. He'll do it. But I don't think Presti, the only way Presti's going to make the Olympia is if he hits, a fairly weak lineup. I hate to say it, but he's been to the Olympia. It's not that he's not awful. He's just not really like an A-lister. Rubio is just ugly physique. No balance of symmetry. Adolf looked the most aesthetic. He should have won. We'll take a look at that. I definitely want to take a look at it. Andrew also have massive calves despite his high insertions. Yeah, Andrew jacked, considering you're right. His calves insert pretty high. And typically that's not a good indication that you're ever going to be able to build substantial calf mass when you have calves that high inserting the way Andrew Jack does. But he's built them up. I've seen guys with short biceps build up some pretty huge biceps. They're short, but, Al Beckles had short biceps, but they were super peaked. Ronnie didn't have very full biceps. They were on the shorter side compared to other guys they didn't insert all the way at the elbow like Sergio Oliva or even his son Sergio Jr. does. Taylor Sean Ray both calves. Good point. Chris Smith, there's something wrong with Rubiel. Well, I've said it, Paul. I'm not a fan. I don't think the physique flows. It's just not pleasing to me. But I understand that there's always going to be a place in the sport for the freaks, and Rubiel Neckzilla is a freak. Just so much mass. He's huge. He's one of those guys like a Nasser or a Marcus Rule, even the Paco Batista, that you look at them and you're like, geez, this guy's just huge. Old style myostatin deficiency. Yeah. So people have suggested maybe he's myostatin deficient, but others have pointed out that people who are truly myostatin deficient, they don't need to lift weights to be huge and muscular. They're just huge and muscular anyway, just like those Belgian blue cattle, the bulls. The new Victor Richards, once he keeps working to refine the muscle, he should be a whole lot of guest posing, freak monster. Yeah, I don't think they have much guest posing anymore, unfortunately. That used to be a huge moneymaker for the athletes, the guest posing circuit. They could make 10 grand just in the appearance fee to guest pose, and they could sell all kind of merchandise at a show. And, if you do that, some of these guys like Matarazzo, Tom Platz, they would do 30, 40 appearances weekends a year. So add that money up. Does look like Nathan Dash or Rubio. Yeah, there's some similarities. They might have a common ancestor like 1,000 years back or something. If Olympia was an Olympian, one of the most popular fitness through. Nah, I don't think it would be a popularity contest. But you can't, the Olympia is all about merit. The Arnold is about inviting people. And historically, the Arnold has invited people that sometimes they didn't even have any business being up on that stage, but maybe they represented a whole continent or something. Like they'd have somebody from Asia or somebody from Russia, even though they weren't of the same caliber of the other guys on that stage. But, just to have a show that looked like it had a global representation and to make the fans of those places happy, they would invite all these people. Pick one, Nick Walker. Pick one for what, David? To win? I think Nick Walker has a much better physique than Rubio, personally. Kind of takes you back to days of Edgar Fletcher. Yeah, and Edgar couldn't turn pro, remember? Edgar Fletcher was an amazing amateur in the early to mid-'90s. I saw him compete a few times. Never turned pro, got second, third. He was top 5 many times, and he was fantastic, but just like Rory Liedlmeyer, Matt Mendenhall, some other guys of that era, there were so few pro cards given out, so few opportunities that some guys who were just incredible never got to be seen on a pro stage. I don't know if he's so very cool, Alan. I don't know if Neckzilla is tired there. I assume this was, I don't know if this was from judging or confirmation round, what we're looking at right here. There's like Victor Richards and Edgar Fletcher within 2 years to leave a Mr. O. I don't believe we're ever going to see Rubiel as a Mr. Olympia. And I don't say that out of any ill will toward Rubiel. I don't have anything against him. I don't know the guy at all. I don't love him. I don't hate him. I have nothing personally for or against Rubiel. But looking at him aesthetically, Nick Walker, people have said Nick Walker's never going to win because of his structure, but Nick Walker's structure is way better than Rubiel's. Rubiel's just the proportions, they're just really strange with that giant neck and the giant legs and the arms that don't quite match. In the front double bicep, the biceps take up more than 2/3 of the arm, which it's supposed to be the other way around. It's a lot of wonky things about him. Nick Walker's a freak. Yeah, Nick has a better structure and shape. It's not a pretty physique, but it's a lot prettier than Rubiel's. Yeah. Very nice, very nice. Rubio needs a good bit of work. Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of getting started. He'll be 16th at the Olympia. I think he could be in the top 10. And I don't say that I'm not just kissing the guy's butt. I don't really care. Let's go. See if we got it. All right, so here's some good shots of the top 3, which was Andrea Presti was second. Rubiel right there, your winner, and Adolf Berghardt from Germany in third. And yeah, Adolf looks damn good. Right there, you can see, I don't know, actually he does have kind of a wide waist. Now that I'm looking at Adolf, which I haven't really scrutinized him that closely before, his waist is on the thicker, wider side. You can tell him that, which is why I don't know why he doesn't do what the other two guys, Andrea and Rubiel. I would have the hands in front to sort of detract away and hide that waistline. Instead, he's got hands on the hips, exposing it. Front double. Yeah, you see, I really think Presti just loses the show because of his legs. Condition was fantastic. His upper body it's maybe not as big as Rubiel's, but it's got better shape, structure. The waist is a little thinner. It's not quite as wide, but his legs are just so weak compared to Rubiel's. Same with the front lat. Yeah, Rubiel he just dominates people in mass, and he did tighten up considerably. I would still like to see deeper cuts, because these thighs, as impressive as they are, they would be that much more impressive if they had some deep, clear separations between the quad heads. Right now, they're kind of blurry. They're not as clear as they could be. I mean, Presti, those legs are those are like amateur legs. I hate to keep putting them down, but it's a glaring weak point. You see from the side, Andrea's legs don't look that bad. They actually don't look that weak at all, because he's got really good hamstrings, and his quads look a lot better from the side than they do from the front. You can see his condition there, the glutes, those striations in the glutes, nice and crispy clear. But Rubiel, he tightened up a lot. This side leg shot was not as detailed last week. And Adolf, that is just damn near perfect side leg right there. You can see the quad sweep from the side, that's tough to do. Nice ham drop, that deep separation between the quads and the hams, those glute striations. Side try, of course, this is Rubiel's best pose. He kicks everyone's ass in this pose. If I were Presti, I would twist the torso a little bit. He's not doing himself any favors here. He makes his waist look wider by not twisting his torso more. The way Rubiel keeps his waist, and he does have a wider waist, but he keeps his midsection nice and flat. He sucks it in during this pose and really plays up the mass up top and the mass on the bottom while making that midsection look as small as he can, where Presti not doing that here at all. Berghardt, to an extent, he is. And the rear double. Yeah, Presti has a really good back, but Rubiel's back is no joke either. Very thick and full. He definitely tightened up considerably. I'm impressed with what they were able to do, him and his coach, from last week to this week. Rear lat, not as good a back shot for him. It looks kind of blurry. Ab and thigh, of course, he's got those thunder thighs. Look at that. Yeah, that's a great shot for Rubiel. Even though the waist, you can see the obliques are bulging out a little bit, he does have a thick midsection. Presti's doesn't look that slender here either. And Berghardt, just the abs, they don't look that developed to me. You see how blurry they are? It's just because they're not that developed. Let's go back to back shot. Show that. Okay, where'd we leave off at? With bigger delts and arms, I could see him looking better ever than narrow. Yeah, all Rubiel can do, because his hip bones are what they are. His waist it's a little on the wide side. Nothing he can do about that except continue building more width in the shoulders and the upper back, and I'm sure he'll do that. He's still a young guy. I think he's only in his early 30s. Should not be able to win a show with 8 weeks out condition, since that 6 weeks out show. Well, Paul, the thing is, it's who do you stand next to that day? And this was not a strong lineup by any means. Not to put the Flex Weekend Pro Italy show down, but this wasn't a strong lineup. Nathan would have made it a better show had Nathan not missed the deadline by 12 minutes, but he did. All he needs is more upper bodies next Rami hybrid. Ronnie and Rami had better structure and shape. I don't want to keep. I'm not really. I swear to you guys, I'm not trying to shit on Rubiel. I'm really happy for him that he won a show and he's going to go to the Olympia. And he does have that freak factor. And we've seen other guys in the past, like Marcus Rule, do pretty well. He got 5th place at the Olympia one year, Marcus Rule. And he was not the most aesthetically pleasing physique either. I think Rubiel can win the New York Pro. They love a good freak. Yeah, would he have beat Nick Walker this year? No. I mean, every show, it just depends on who else shows up, right? So if you catch a show where no top Olympia guys are there, just yanked my shoulder doing that. Ow. Grabbing the mouse. Ouch. At least be 6 weeks out. I don't know, Paul. Do Do you really believe Rubiel looks 8 weeks out here? I think you're being a little harsh on him. I'm not a huge fan of Rubiel either, and I would like to see a lot more separation in his legs. But to say he's 8 weeks out, I think you're being very unkind. Fans, yeah. I mean, the guy's got, like I said, there are a lot of fans that they don't really care that much about aesthetics and shape. I mean, that's classic now. If you're a huge fan of aesthetics and pretty shape and symmetry and flow and lines and all that, classic is your division to follow, because that's what classic is all about. X frames and small waists and nice cap delts, no torn body parts, no thick waists. But open, there's still a place in open for freaks like Rubiel, for sure. Who calls their kid Adolf? Awful name. Well, I agree, especially anyone of Jewish heritage would probably not appreciate that name, because that was Adolf Hitler, who was the leader of Nazi Germany. But it's a traditional name that, there were plenty of guys named Adolf Hitler before Adolf. So I guess they felt like, why should we have to stop naming people Adolf just because of one bad apple, one a-hole? It's like saying no Muslim countries can have anyone named Saddam because of Saddam Hussein. Rubiel destroyed him from the back as well. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Yeah, look at that back. That's a great back. Rubiel's back double bicep is actually a really good shot. I don't think I keep saying his side shots are his best, but his rear double is quite good too. You're looking 14th at the Olympia. So somebody had him 10th, someone had him 14th, someone had him 16th. I think he's like a 10 to 12 guy, honestly. They're going to make Derek look like a midget. Derek might be what massive he is, really. Well, he's not beating Derek. I'll tell you that right now. Jada Gray, he's not beating Derek Lunsford. Derek shits all over this guy in terms of shape and structure. I mean, even if you look at mass, Derek Lunsford's a huge guy. I know he's not a tall guy. He's 5'5" or maybe 5'6" on a very, very good day, but he's massive. He's a freak. He's an aesthetic freak. And Rubiel is a freak without the aesthetics. Regan versus Stefan in France. You think Stefan can beat Regan? I don't know. We're not talking about that right now anyway. So. Roman Fritz, very quiet this year. Yeah. One of the only other top open pros out of Germany. Rubiel has scoliosis in the back double. His spine goes to the right. I don't know if he has scoliosis. Let me take a closer look at that. Huh. I do see a little curvature. I don't know. I think we would need a medical professional to really comment on that. Mandy says he looks abnormal. Yeah, Mike. Big Mike Cox, my man. Yeah, kind of like in the movie Young Frankenstein. Igor, the hunchback, took the wrong brain. Said abnormal. He said it was some guy named Abby Normal. The crowd at the O is going to lose their shit. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of people that they're all about the freaks, and they don't care if a guy might have a little bit of a wide waist. I mean, even all the guys that we knew back over the years with bubble guts, and I don't have to call them out by name, but every guy that had a bubble gut, as long as he had plenty of mass and he was getting shredded and freaky, veiny and all that, they still had a huge, huge fan base, because there are a lot of people that will appreciate the mass and the freak factor, and it doesn't really bother them that maybe this guy's got a blocky waist or a wide waist or a little bit of a bubble gut. They don't care. Yeah, it was a weak lineup, I'm saying. So you see with the O's for shits and giggles. Rubiel, Samson, Andrew. That would be quite a call out, wouldn't it? Normal German name, widely used here. Yeah, there you go. Wustenfuchs. I mean, he would know. Wustenfuchs is over there in Germany. I mean, in Austria and Germany, I'm sure it's probably like a name like John or Michael or Christopher or Thomas or something over here in the US or UK. I did see other footage. I saw some posing footage of Rubiel. So let me look for that. Was it on Beyond Stage TV? Somebody had some iPhone footage of him. Was that it? Here we go, yeah. Neckzilla time. So this is somebody's iPhone footage. This resolution is not doing him any favors. Because it's an iPhone zoomed in from, I don't know, 10 rows back maybe, it takes away from what the condition truly was. You could see in those shots we were looking at for the past half hour that he was a lot leaner than this would indicate. I think I saw even other footage that was better than this. Yeah, that's not the best footage. Let's see. Real time. What's that chanting? It's good footage of just the two. The chanting was for Presti, because they're in Italy, and Presti is their best open pro right now. So of course they're gonna cheer for their guy. Yeah, I know I saw some good Rubiel footage somewhere. Where was it? Where was it? Is this it? This is better. All right, this is a little better than what we saw. At least it's from the front. It's not off to the side. Yeah, the lack of separation of the legs is really bothering me because they're so massive. They're so impressive the way they are now that I can only imagine how good they would look if they had some deep, deep cuts between the different heads of the quads. He's a big dude, man. He is just a monster. I don't know what he weighs. Yeah, stupid big. I mean, like I said, he could stop training legs probably forever. They're never going to be small. He'll be 14th Olympia. Too just gay? What? You just gay with you look for aesthetics. We talking about a freak show called Bodybuilding. Well, unfortunately, the judges don't just give it to the freakiest guy. The judges do look at many different factors, not just raw mass. Sport is about freaks. He's a freak. We never saw Vic Richards. This is the closest. Yeah, it's like the new Vic Richards. You're right. Get my big Rami back to battle of quads. We want to see Nick, Hadi, Rubiel, Lunford, Water. Who the hell is Water? Fitzwater? I know I don't speak whatever language you speak, but your English is yikes. It's rough. It's rough. Like Victor Fletcher. Why is everyone calling him Rubio? I don't know if they're doing text to talk, and that's how it's coming out. Yeah, it's Rubiel. Back there looks like Kai on 15 units of GH. Krillex. I want to see Andrew too. Okay. Well, I mean, Andrew's got great aesthetics. Who come third in this week lineup? It was Adolf Berghardt from Germany. Too bad they don't have a lot of guest podiums anymore. Yeah. I asked Jay Cutler about that years ago because he puts on 2 amateur shows in Boston. The Jay Cutler Classic in the spring and the New England in the fall. And we haven't had a guest poser at that show for at least 10 years. And he said it doesn't increase the ticket sales. It's a terrible return on investment. In the old days, people used to come out to see guest posers because there was no social media. And that was their only chance to really see much of these guys aside from them competing in the Olympia or whatever. But now you guys have their Instagram, their YouTube, their Snapchat, their whatever. You're seeing plenty of these guys. You're not going to go out to a contest just to see them pose, especially in the off season. Rubiel won. Yeah. Rubiel like Samson Andrews was a bad idea. Those 2 guys will expose Rubiel. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll get a call out with them. At the Olympia, he's not going to be, I don't think he'll be a first call out guy. He'll be a second. It's fucking quads. Yeah, they are ridiculous. Let's see what else. Who else had stuff on Rubiel? Rubiel. I want to try to find more footage of the top guys. Maybe I'll just go back to the next strength and power stuff. Yeah, what the heck? All right, so this is Nick. Next strength and power. He bought the webcast. I did not. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. Came third in this week lineup. That is Adolf Berghardt. You'll be able to see him momentarily. Is that him in the red? Oh, all messed up. Just Rubiel on stage. No, there are several other people on stage as well. And that's Joseph Kvitin, the bald gentleman there. His calves are actually crazy. Yeah, they look like cows. Like, I know that's such a cliche. They're not calves, they're cows, but they really are freaking ridiculous. This will be the biggest calves ever. He don't show the cuts. Yeah, he doesn't have deep muscle separation, Rubiel. No separation at all. And that would make him look so much better because mass by itself it's great. It's impressive, but mass, when it has a lot of detail and separation, it's that much crazier. That's why Phil Heath used to be able to beat guys who were so much bigger than him because he had mass fill, but he also had really deep cuts between the muscle groups, deep separations, that I should say, and a lot of details, striations. You could see every little fiber on Heath. He's posing. Well deserved for Rubiel. I agree. Promise he doesn't do calf raises. Yeah, Paul. Most of the people I've ever met with monstrous calves never train calves. And we see, the middle-aged dads with the big fat guts walking around with these 20-inch diamond-shaped calves. You think they go to the gym and do calves every other day? No. They just get those calves walking around because their calves insert very low. When your calves insert very low, close to the ankle, you probably don't ever have to train calves. They'll get plenty of work just walking around, just supporting your body, assisting as part of the chain in things like squats and leg presses, lunges, things like that. They'll get plenty of work. I remember the late Mike Matarazzo had some of the best calves ever. He didn't train his calves. He would do them for photo shoots just for shits and giggles to get the pictures. But he would tell me that even cardio, his calves got so pumped he would have to stop after 10 minutes, take a little break, shake them out, squeeze them or whatever. I don't know what he would do, and then get back on the treadmill or the bike because his calves were so dense that everything trained them. He won't show striations. That's called genetics. Fritz. If it was about freaks, Marcus would have won at least one time. Exactly. Rule did win some pro shows. He won the Night of Champions of New York back when that was like a show with 35, 45 guys in it. He won, I think, the Toronto Pro, and he was as high as 5th at the Olympia. I remember that. So Rule did very well, but my English is shit. Well, I don't know. I got to give you credit. You speak some English. I don't speak anything of, I don't know what language you speak. If you want to tell me, but I barely speak passable Spanish. It's the only second language I have. Knock 20 pounds off. I think Rubiel, if you took 10 more pounds off him, he would look that much better. Yeah, I'm understanding. Rubiel posing improved tremendously. Yeah, his posing, Chris Cormier has been working with him on his posing. I was trying to get Chris to come on here because he tried to call me on audio, on Instagram audio call, and my dumb ass couldn't figure out how to accept the call. And I sent him an invitation to come on here, but he hasn't taken it. I mean, he's busy. It's late over there. He's probably celebrating with Rubiel at this point. It's Casbro. I never wear pants. I mean, I'd wear shorts every day if I had legs like that. Like some Prague 2 years ago. Yeah, Varnglan. He's a work in progress. He's still a fairly young guy, and he hasn't done a ton of shows. I know he was a pro in the other IFBB, so he's not a rookie. He's not a newbie, but he's still got a long way to go. He's still getting better at presentation. His coach is figuring out his physique and getting him a little bit tighter every time. Came 4th and 5th. I have no idea, Lopsang. I didn't watch the show, and I apologize for that. I could go back to Beyond the Stage TV. Poor that Arnold cut his pants off, went crazy. Yeah, I mean, he said the myth about Arnold is that he cut the pants off all his pants. He cut his pants off, turned them all into shorts, so he would have to see his weak ass calves. But Arnold was also accused of having calf implants back in the 70s. I don't know if they could even do calf implants. I mean, they were just barely doing breast implants. So I don't know if there was any truth to that. Marcus Lund won 2 shows, New York and Toronto, and that's much better back then. Yeah, Marcus was very good. I was very fortunate to see him compete a few times, and he was so impressive. I promise you, bro. I wouldn't take that bet. I don't think he's done a calf raise in his life either. I think they just grow. Any idea what he weighs? That's a good question, Mike. So he's about 5'9", 5'10", because Presti, I've stood next to Presti. Presti's about 5'9" or 5'10". And he looks like he's a little bit shorter. So I'm going to say Rubiel's probably like 5'9". He looks to me like about 260, 270 if I had to take a wild, crazy guess. But I have no idea. Did Rubiel already get called in from that show a year or so? Yeah, because it was the Prague show, I think, that Samson won. So Rubiel was in the top 5. I think he took 4th in Prague. So he did get a call out with Samson last year, but I don't see him getting that call out this year at the Olympia. Marcus was also often ripped off back then. It was much harder for you as a non-American. Judging sucked back then, Vust and Fuchs. Judging was so political back then. It was awful. They changed scores all the time, and they favored people due to sponsors, and it was messed up. It was a lot of injustice back then. Judging now is way more fair. Stop sharing that. Okay. Go back to Instagram and see if they have all the placings. Do they? Neckzilla wins. No. Yeah, I was hoping that. Hold on a sec, guys. I'm still trying to get the final placing. I bet you I wouldn't even know who these other people were, though, to be honest with you. Yeah, they just said he won. Coach Francisco Jose Espin. Go to his page. I wonder what he's got on his page. He's got some good stuff. Does he have some good stuff? So this is his coach's footage. Look at that. And he's got like a longer torso, higher lats, wide waist. It's not a pretty fit. The biceps in that shot should not take up more than half of the arm, and they do. The biceps are supposed to take up 1/3 of the upper arm. The triceps are supposed to be 2/3. I know I'm being so picky, guys, but that's how you have to be, because otherwise you're just saying everybody looks great, everybody looks perfect, everybody should win. Well, everybody can't win. We got winners and losers in bodybuilding, just like any other sport. Rubiel won, so props to him for pulling off the win. Look at that beautiful shot. Look at those calves. Those are some sickening calves. When he opens up that back, nice and wide. His back is so wide, he doesn't look like he has a wide waist in that. What else does Coach have here? I think this is the minute he got announced as winner. Is probably what we're looking at right here. I'm guessing. Yes, getting it. Oh, they're going to invite him to the Arnold. You can guarantee they're going to invite him to the Arnold. No doubt in my mind. No, I've never tried Yamamoto. I've never even seen a Yamamoto product in the USA. I don't know if they distribute here. They're huge in Europe, and they sponsor a lot of athletes, but I've never seen a Yamamoto product in my life. Tier 1 shows. 330 or more, you do one show to qualify, tier 2s. Oh, this is a good idea for how you qualify for the Olympia. Top prize for open. Tier 1 shows. Yeah, I agree with all that. And you never trained calves. Yeah, most of the people I know with awesome calves never trained. Yeah, come back, Raven, when I'm doing a show, because I will do a show about the qualifying for the Olympian stuff. I just don't want to take away from Rubiel's win here. Most of the time, black guys have higher insertion on calves. Yes, that is true. That is true. And I'll say it right here. Chinese and Korean bodybuilders seem to have low insertions. Japanese bodybuilders, low calf insertions. Why? I don't know. Why would people from Africa have higher insertions and people from Asia, Eastern and Southeastern Asia, why would they have lower calf insertions? What reason would God or evolution have for that? I have no idea. This product is Portuguese. Oh, Portuguese. Brazil. Oh, okay. Oh, Portuguese. Okay. Well, see, you probably would have liked Aretha Labs. I've been stealing her footage for the last couple show coverages I've done. Aretha Luz in Brazil. She does commentary in Portuguese. Fantastic job, I'm sure. So I always tell people, go watch her channel. If you want to get the commentary, if you speak Portuguese and you want to hear some great commentary, Aretha Luz does some great work. What else? So this is his coach. This is coach's footage, or he posted it anyway on his timeline. It was Rubiel backstage. This is the coach took this footage. Yeah, he's an all the way big dude. What made Ryan the best of all time? He's a freak with shape, conditioning size. Truly unique. Yeah, you don't often see all those attributes in one person. You'll see a lot of people with great shape. You'll see a lot of people with great conditioning. You'll see a lot of people with great size. It's very rare to see all three of those things in one person at the same time. So when somebody has all that, they usually just kick everyone's ass. Let Aceto prep him. Well, he seems to be very happy with this coach. So this guy says Chad should prep him. I mean, it's up to Rubiel. Rubiel is going to have to be the one to decide if he wants to make a change. They're from my house, the Iron Bear Gym, Eduardo Correa, Florianopolis, big bodybuilding scene in South Brazil. Yeah, Brazil is one of the greatest bodybuilding nations in the world right now. Calves come for your dad's balls. Marlenka should prep him. Saludos, amigos desde Colombia. Oye, tiene un campeón de Colombia. Sí. Qué feliz. La gente de Colombia, físico-culturismos, fans. Fans, I don't know the word for fans. Very happy. Congratulaciones. Congratulations. Well, anyway, my Spanish sucks ass. ¿Cómo se va, hermanito? I'm doing great. Habla español también. I speak some. Yo hablo español como un cubano, pero mi vocabulario no es muy fuerte. Es débil. My Spanish, not the greatest. Let's see what else this coach put up. This coach has some, obviously, some footage no one else was able to get. Morning check. That's how we looked the morning of the show. That's the hotel lighting. And you can see these pictures are taken on portrait mode on your camera, on your iPhone, which blurs out the background. I love portrait mode. Oh, that's Madelman. That's a different guy. All right, I got to go back to another Instagram page. I want to see some other stuff. That's why. Rubiel. Oh, that's a nice shot. That's a cool shot right there. Yeah, this is your top 5, and I don't know all these guys. I really don't, and I feel awful. I know Joseph Kveton from Czech Republic. There on the left, the bald guy. Obviously, I know Andrea Presti, Rubiel. That's Adolf Burkhardt. To the right of Rubiel, and I don't know who the guy on the far right in the blue trunks. I have no idea who that is. No idea. Let's see. Well, Nathan's happy for him. That's good. That's a great shot, man, right there. That's a cool shot. Me gusta las colombianas. ¿Quién no le gusta? Everyone loves them. Colombiana. La mujer colombiana tiene el culo magnífico grande. Big butts. División Wellness fue hecho por latinas y brasileñas. Rubiel needs more delts and he will look more wider up top. Yeah, I agree. That's the only thing you can do because his midsection is not getting any smaller. It's bones. He's got a wide hips and waist. It's not going to get any smaller. So let's go brutal on conditioning. I see him top 6 in the O. No, I don't see him top 6 because there's so many guys. We got 4 Olympias competing, 4 Mr. Olympia champs. There's no way he's beating Hadi, Derek, or Samson. I'm sorry. There's just no way. That's not going to happen. He's not beating Nick Walker. That's 4 guys. He's not beating Andrew Jack. That's 5 guys. I don't think he's beating Brandon Curry. That's 6. Martin Fitzwater. So right there, no. I appreciate that you're a fan and you like the guy, but I don't see him cracking top 6. Shoulders feeling better, Captain. Thank you. It's a little better every day. Surgery was only Wednesday afternoon. I didn't wake up till 5:30 p.m. on Wednesday. Another black guy, right? Great cast. Paul Dillette. True. Shout from the UK. Yeah. ¿Quién ganó? Ese hombre, Rubiel Mosquera de Colombia, ganó. Campeón de Flex Weekend Pro en Italia. Milán, Ciudad de Milán. Good to see both languages. Sí, Portugués. No follow Portugués. No follow. I don't speak it. Houston Fuchs, top 6 unrealistic. Only when he stands top guys to become clear how superior they are. He doesn't have structure. Yeah, it's just a structure thing with him. He's got all the size in the world, and I do believe the condition can get better. It's pretty good. It's not bad. He just needs more separation. I don't know. He probably just needs to be lighter and lighter. Saludos, amigos desde Colombia. Colombia. La nación de Sofía Vergara. ¿Quién fue la narco? La mujer narco. Griselda. Griselda. Yeah. I don't know how much it eats to maintain that. Yeah. Should be only 20 Olympia spots, 20 pro shows would count. Yeah. They're not going to have less pro shows because the organization gets a sanction fee. They get money from just allowing more pro shows. The promoters make money putting on pro shows. So, ¿Quién ganó el campeonato? Ese hombre aquí, Rubiel Mosquera de Colombia ganó. Okay? With the waist. Yeah, it's a big waist. Neckzilla was superior to everyone this time. Oh, Zúñiga Carlos Andrés. Eso hombre aquí. Rubiel Mosquera de Colombia ganó. Okay. Rubiel. Brandon Curry was the greatest Mr. of all time in 2019. He was the greatest in 2019. I wouldn't say Brandon was the greatest Mr. Olympia of all time. And I'm shooting with pair of black and white picks. That would be awesome. Longer limbs, more dispersed heat from evolving warm climates. That actually kind of makes sense. Actually, that's the first time, Paul, I've ever heard anyone come up with any reasonable theory as to why African people would have higher calf insertions than people from, say, Europe or Asia, if that makes sense. Digo que él es el mejor que Brasil. Tiene atletas fantásticos en todas las divisiones en Brasil. Just rice and beans, rice and beans. Patella tendon, ouch. Oh, sorry to hear that. Qué lástima, mi amigo. For 6 months, I'm in a good juice now. Necesita una operación. Descansa no es suficiente. No es bastante. Necesita una operación, surgery. Roden was actually the best Mr. Olympia. Not even kidding. Well, aesthetically, yeah, I wouldn't really argue with that. I think Roden was awesome. Roden was awesome. Let me go back to some other, what else we got on this page? So I'm going to dip out because I came straight from the gym. I trained legs today. My son brought me to the gym because I'm not going to be driving for probably like 3 more weeks. So I did a workout and I need to eat. All I've had was a shake and a nectarine. And yeah, I'm pretty hungry. We'll look at some more pictures. See what else Mario has. I think he had some really good comparison shots. Top 3. Yeah, I know I already showed those. Yeah, I showed them, but I'll show them more time. What the heck? Rounder muscle belly to disperse more heat. More theories on calves, why people from different parts of the world have bigger or smaller calves. Oh, you did the surgery. Oh, you should be okay then. No entiendo por qué tiene dolor ahora y no puede caminar normalmente. No entiendo. Me llamo. It's me llamo, not me llamo. Me llamo Papi Chulo. Time of the least, the breaks. Phil. I liked the early Phil Heath. Phil in his first couple Mr. Olympia wins, first like 2 or 3, he was just fantastic. Ronnie, his first 2 Olympia wins was just fantastic. Gracias por la transmisión, amigo. De nada, amigo. Gracias por mirando eso. Strengthening tendons screwed in the bone. Here goes the surgery free. Yeah. No es gratis aquí. Cuesta mucho. Es muy cara aquí en los Estados Unidos. $40,000 americanos por mi surgery. Cool. All right, guys, I'm going to take off because I'm so hungry. I'm very hungry. So anyway, I want to congratulate again Rubiel Neckzilla Mosquera on his first pro win over there in Milan, Italy at the Flex Weekend Pro. My brother lives in Texas. He is fuck. So he is on the way to Olympia. Next stop, Olympia. Good for him. And that is a wrap. We'll see Rubiel Neckzilla Mosquera at the Olympia. How well he will do. We're going to start doing Olympia predictions in a couple months, I'm sure, even though the show's not till October. We're almost in July right now. So anyway, guys, appreciate you all watching. Thanks for doing that. And I will talk to you guys next time. Peace.